Alright, so with the title and thumbnail like this, you might be very confused as to what this video is about. And if you've been around my channel for a while, you have probably noticed that I made a couple of videos responding to both Theft King and Griffin Gaming in the past, as well as that there has been quite a lack of responses to these two as of recent, especially considering there has been cases for both of them where they were legitimately in the wrong. So you might be wondering,
what is the problem?
So here is why I haven't made any response videos to them. And no, it's not because I completely agree with them or anything close to that, but it's simply a case as with everyone else I made responses to, and that being that I agree or disagree with people on a case-by-case basis. Contrary to what some people may think, I'm not going to just be talking shit for the sake of talking shit. And while that is one of the reasons, there is one more, a lot bigger reason. And to put it simply, and trust me, I will be going more in depth into plenty of examples in this video, the type of audience those videos attract are the kind of people who don't understand such a simple concept, and are also not the kind of people who want to listen to reason or want to hear a normal human response. Those motherfuckers just want me to be blindly outraged in their stead based on what is most often literally fucking nothing, which is the exact reason why I'm hesitant to make a video on these two, even when they are very clearly in the wrong. Now, I will be going over some examples of dramas these Twitter groups try to create for both Theft King and Griffin Gaming individually, though keep in mind that whenever I'm not talking about either of them specifically, then the statement can most likely apply to both of these groups at the same time. And then there's also the obvious, and that being that I'm not saying that every person who ever criticized either Griffin Gaming or Theft King is like this. So if it doesn't apply, let it fly, and if you don't let it fly, then that is entirely on you. Sorry not sorry. Also, depending on how long this shit ends up being, I might even split it into two parts, who knows. If that's the case, I'll probably end up front-loading this shit into both of them. Alright, so let's start with the Twitter circle jerk surrounding Griffin Gaming first, because these guys, while worse on the extremes, are not as bad as the ones surrounding Theft King on average. But then again, that's not saying much when you consider we're talking about indie mascot horror Twitter, so take that as you will. That, and I have way more to say on the one surrounding Theft King, because that shit is 10 times more pathetic. So after the entire Call of Duty Vanguard shit that revolved around Griffin Gaming that I criticized him for, there has really been only one actual controversy that you can say Griffin was actually in the wrong. And that being the whole shit show surrounding Critosis, when Griffin had his shitty furry joke go way too far, to the point where he ended up accusing Critosis of consuming cheese pizza. Yeah, not really something you want to do, joke or not. However, apart from that, every other quote drama surrounding Griffin has been some of the most chronically online shit I've ever seen in my life. And the kind of people who ate those dramas up are the same people who are subscribed to Griffin's channel with notifications on, and despite constantly saying how much they hate Griffin because he's fallen off, this, that and the other thing, they still watch every single one of his videos, every single one of his live streams and every one of his VODs start to finish, looking for any little thing to nitpick so that they can write an angry comment. Yeah, if that doesn't scream I have no life, I don't know what does. And you can even see that for yourself. If you go to the stream archive channel, you're going to find the same select few people in almost every comment section, if not every comment section, leaving salty comments while saying how much they dislike Griffin. Because that totally makes them look cool and not laughable whatsoever. So, is it any surprise that when you take one of Griffin's clips out of context and present it in front of that crowd with a fabricated narrative, that they are going to gobble it up without thinking twice? Well, if you had any doubt, allow me to inform you that that was exactly what Mischief did, marking the start of what was probably the most downright retarded drama ever surrounding Griffin. And it wasn't even a small thing either. It got so bad that Griffin himself had to respond to it in a video. So let me tell you exactly what happened in chronological order, and then I'll tell you how the narrative was spun. So, a long time ago, when the Nvidia 30 series graphics card were first released, Griffin made a video on his channel explaining how he had to return his 3090 and get a replacement because it was about to fucking explode or some shit like that. And on that video, he got a bunch of angry comments from people trying to control how he spends his own money. And yes, it is just as pathetic as it sounds. And nothing really came of it until the announcement of the 40 series cards, which is when a viewer asked Griffin on stream if he will be getting the 4090. After a bit of talking, Griffin ended up referencing the people who were commenting under his 3090 video and went on a rant about them. which is when someone, presumably Mischief, took the tail end of that rant out of context and started pushing the narrative that in that clip, Griffin was poor shaming a viewer for not wanting to get the 4090. And yes, the story was about as poorly thought out as it sounds. However, despite this, the clip, even when maliciously taken out of context like this, still had plenty of red flags that this story might be a whole lot more bullshit than truth. For one, Griffin never once mentions the 4090 by name, and when talking about the price, he says $1,500 instead of $1,600, which was the price of the 4090 at the time. And the ironic part about this is that almost all retards who jumped the gun on this and made responses jumped on that shit by saying, "Bro, are you retarded? The 4090 costs 1600, not 1500 like you said." Meanwhile, they never once stopped to consider if there maybe is a reason Griffin said 1500, like say that he wasn't talking about the 4090. But hold on, we are not done with the red flags just yet. Let's also not neglect to mention that the fabricated story also stops making a single semblance of sense when you realize people often come to Griffin's chat and share their PC builds, and no matter what the specs are, Griffin never shames any of them for not getting a better or worse setup. So why would he now all of a sudden start shaming someone who doesn't want to get a graphics card that is not even out yet? Unless of course the story is entirely a fucking lie. And probably the most crucial missing piece that should have caused this entire narrative to fall flat on its face if the people making these videos had any semblance of brain matter left while making their videos. The person who Griffin supposedly poor shamed doesn't fucking exist. And how could he when the 4090 was never the subject of Griffin's rant? So what it all boils down to is the typical case of that bullshit Twitter logic of guilty until proven innocent. So yeah. Just based on this alone, you can probably see why I don't want to attract this kind of an audience to my channel. But hold on, it gets worse. After this clip has been posted, I believe on the same day even, Mischief made a community post announcing his video on the topic, and Griffin then made a statement about it on his livestream, which got uploaded to everyone's favorite dumpster diving ground when looking for Griffin's clips to respond to, the archive channel. And in the clip, Griffin clearly states, "Is it really such a bad take to say, if you worry about how other people spend their money, you're pathetic?" In fact, why don't we hear it from the horse's mouth?
Like, I don't know, everybody who watched the stream last night, was it really that crazy of a take to say, like, bro, the people who are sitting there upset that I can afford a GPU they can't are pathetic? I don't know if that's like a controversial take these days. Like, am I supposed to feel bad that I can afford something I want to buy with my own money?
And yes, as I alluded to previously, guess where these retards always go when looking to call out Griffin on anything? That's right, the very channel this clip was uploaded to. So knowing this, the context existed and was public since September 22nd, 2022. Therefore, everyone that uploaded a video running with this narrative after this date has absolutely no excuse when the context was literally on the most obvious place to look. The only thing missing was for it to start glowing neon, like, you cannot convince me you didn't know about it. Keep in mind, when I initially saw this clip out of context, I was also planning to make a response video to it. However, then, after doing my research, I found this clip and I instantly realized what was going on and decided to hold off on it. And surprise surprise, that ended up being the smarter move, as all these people who jumped the gun ended up looking like complete and utter retards. The wonders of research for your bitch ass. And as if that wasn't enough, Griffin also reached out privately to Mischief before his video went live to fill him in on the full context. Yet despite knowing the full context, Mischief still decided to upload his video with no alterations. And while you could probably spend 10 hours dissecting that abortion of a video, I'll walk you through some of the highlights in no particular order. You can watch that video and Griffin's video responding to it if you want to see the full thing yourself, because holy fuck is it a shit show. Mischief says he's not trying to pocket watch Griffin, before making the argument how Griffin shouldn't support Nvidia by buying their products. In other words, pocket watching. Mischief agrees with Griffin that a 4090 is a good value, before making the argument how Griffin shouldn't buy it because that's supporting Nvidia. Mischief says Griffin shouldn't buy Nvidia products because they support the company. Mischief also says an Nvidia 3070 in his computer. In other words, even more hypocrisy. Oh, and my favorite. Mischief begs Griffin not to use a counter argument that would destroy his entire narrative. Yes, that actually fucking happened. You can even see it for yourself in the video. And after that video went live, Griffin released his own video where he apologized for the way he praised himself and if he offended anyone, going way above and beyond. He also defended himself from the outright lies and hypocrisies Mischief tried throwing at him, to which Mischief responded by completely deflecting and taking absolutely no accountability whatsoever. It is endlessly ironic how they always claim Griffin cannot take an L. Meanwhile, when they have the opportunity to lead by example, they instead pull shit like this. You'll love to fucking see it. And after that video came out, the people who were still working on their videos pushing this narrative had even less excuse for not taking the full context into consideration. And yes, there were people who did that. This just further goes to show you what lows these Twittertards will go to in order to get any imaginary W over someone they don't like. So with that said, I hope you can see why this is not an audience I would like to attract, especially considering this shit is barely the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to just quickly go over some more things that these people treat like the end of the world. They shit on Griffin for liking Call of Duty. Oh no, he likes a video game, how horrible. They shit on Griffin Gaming for sucking at Resident Evil 4. Oh no, he sucks at the video game, how horrible. Some of them, notably the Otaku Daikun fanboys, even openly defend cheese pizza in his live chat whenever Griffin criticizes the people who make it. Need I say more? Not to mention, these retards also seem to be spread among some of the worst fanboy groups on the internet. I've seen some of them who are Synthetic Man fanboys, Blame Truth fanboys, as well as previously mentioned Otaku Daikun fanboys. Yeah, if you know anything about either of these, you know very well why this is so fucking bad. So please forgive me for not wanting to pander to these people. Okay, so that was the shit surrounding Griffin Gaming in a nutshell. I could have very well covered a whole lot more of the minor stuff that these people try to shit on him for, like being on the fence with Activision allegations, Mick Gordon and other irrelevant shit like that. But this is pretty much most of the major shit and definitely ones that showcase the hypocrisy of this crowd perfectly. They don't care about right or wrong. They only want Griffin to be constantly dunked on because they can't live their lives normally otherwise, or some shit. However, the anti-Theft King Twitter is probably 10 times worse than this. So now, let's cover that shit. Right now, if you watched that previous part about Griffin Gaming and are wondering to yourself, what in the actual fuck is wrong with these people? Well, best prepare to say that again with more sincerity, because shit is about to hit the fan real fucking quick. So, as you know, I made 2 videos on Theft King. The first one was criticizing him for how he handled the whole drama between him and Kane Carter, and the second one, which was supposed to be more lighthearted, poking fun at his Bendy and the Dark Revival trailer analysis. And the reason why I said supposed to be was because it was exactly that for me. However, for these people, not liking the Bendy and the Dark Revival trailer was a bigger sin than the entirety of the Kane Carter drama apparently. So yeah, after my video responding to his trailer analysis got posted, everything seemed pretty normal. Theft King himself took the criticism from my video exceptionally well, and I got some angry fanboy comments to laugh at in a follow-up video. Pretty good outcome so far. Well, as more comments started rolling in, shit hit the fan really fucking fast. If you scroll down to the pinned comment underneath that video, you might find something odd. Okay, so for some context for those that don't know, Theft King used to have a troubled past with substances. And a while ago, someone actually tried to blackmail him with that, which Theft King responded by doing the better thing, and honestly probably the best thing he could have done. He told the blackmail holder to fuck himself and came out with the information on his own terms. And thankfully he is getting way better as his anti-addiction treatment is going well, and honestly, all the endlessly retarded internet bullshit aside, I am glad that he is getting better. Shit like this is incredibly serious stuff, and there's not a single stupid internet drama that can ever top it, no matter how much these complete pieces of shit would like to believe otherwise. Right, so with that context now out and about, let me read what I put in the pinned comment. Oh, and if you're wondering about the weird symbols, that's just so the YouTube bot doesn't get pissed off. Another important note, I had a few scumbag comments wishing for him to go back to his female hero addiction over this. And I can't believe I actually have to say this, but this is just a video covering a bad take, so let's keep it at that. At the end of the day, we're here to have fun. It is seriously not that deep. If you take it to those levels, you are a piece of shit. Thank you and goodbye. And honestly, good fucking riddance as well, because believe it or not, I'm not actually a total jerk 24/7, and I certainly don't hate the people I talk about on my channel. But yeah, just how much of a pussy ass bitch do you have to be wishing someone to do that, all because that person said that a video game trailer looks bad? It doesn't matter that what he said is obviously not true. To go to these levels over something as mild and insignificant as that is something only the absolute geniuses from the indie mascot horror Twitter can do, and it's absolutely fucking pathetic. Just from the getting comments like that alone made me want to never make another video on Theft King ever again, and the simple reason of not wanting pieces of shit such as those to feel welcomed is good enough for me, because just from interacting with some of these Twitter tards, I can tell that these people are not interested in reason. They're not interested in right or wrong, they just want Theft King to have the worst life for no reason other than Twitter told them to think that. And thankfully, since my video got a bunch more attention than the one on Griffin, I can share some of the experiences I've had with these retards. You don't have to care about the female hero addiction comments. Yeah, and you don't have to breathe if you don't want to, what's your point? While I don't, I do, because guess what? Going this unbelievably low all because someone had a bad take over a video game trailer is not exactly what I would consider something that normal people do. And this guy trying to defend it by telling me to just look the other way is genuinely fucking disgusting. It's either that they are trying to make you feel pity for theft, he says, yet he never says what the other option is. Like, bruh, who is trying to make me feel pity here? The Twitter tards that are unable to control their emotions? Yeah, fat chance in hell, buddy. And what does me feeling pity have to do with anything? I still stand by every piece of criticism I made towards his videos, and I also wouldn't want such comments being made against anyone who simply had a bad take over something as stupid and insignificant as promotional material for an entertainment product. This motherfucker is really trying hard to excuse such comments. Makes me think if he was maybe among the people saying that on an alt, because I know for a fact I properly gave those people a piece of my mind and then banned them because, surprise surprise, I don't want targeted harassment in my comment section. But no guys, I am the crazy one here, am I right? He never told us about this before his downfall. Yeah, because it's an embarrassing part of his past that people didn't need to know, and the only reason it is known now is because he was being blackmailed, you mouth-breathing Neanderthal. Holy fucking shit, this guy's a genuine piece of shit. I'm honestly surprised I didn't go way harder on this guy in my initial reply. In said reply, I simply stated, it's not pity, it's called not being a bitch about a bad take on a video game of all things. And I know I said this multiple times already, but I just want to really drill in what sparked this guy and everyone else who said that shit to think it is okay, because it is endlessly fucking pathetic to act that way over entertainment products. But this motherfucker was not backing down and he said, yeah, but his fanbase will pull the he's addicted to female heroes to make you feel bad for him. Okay, now, I got over 1300 comments on that video, and just try to guess how many of those tried using the excuse this guy claimed they would. Zero. Absolute fucking zero. Would you look at that? Almost like having basic human decency isn't such a weakness as this guy would like to believe. Honestly, if retards like this guy think that having a moral compass is a bad thing, then I have absolutely no pity for them. Instead of accepting your criticism, that's what theft is. Well, would you look at this, man? Looks like you were completely wrong on this one, as Theft King seems to have taken my criticism pretty well. It appears to me that you don't know so much about Theft King as you let on. Unless, of course, that was all a lie in order to convince me to allow such disgusting behavior, because, let's face it, that's the one and only thing this guy wanted to achieve with this little exchange, and it is absolutely fucking pathetic. Which is why I find it absolutely hilarious that motherfuckers are out here saying how Theft King didn't learn from the King Carter drama at all and all stupid bullshit like that, when he was in only one drama after that. One. And want to know what the most hilarious part about that drama is? He didn't even start it. That drama was started by a circle jerk of, I believe, his ex-Discord mods or something like that, who wanted to perpetuate the drama with him. And why, you may ask? Well, they're Discord mods, that should say enough. And what they did to escalate it was that they decided to dox his email and spam it. Now, Theft King did handle that whole situation like absolute fucking shit, but it was nowhere near on the level as the fucking Kane Carter drama, because this time his reaction was justified, just not reacting in the way he did. I mean seriously, what else is there? Him not liking the FNAF movie? Oh wait, I also don't like the FNAF movie, so why am I not receiving comments wishing for me to die? Yeah, perfectly puts the whole hypocrisy on display here. These people don't care what the conversation is about or what Theft King says. They just care that he is Theft King, and unless he is 110% positive, they are going to make up this same bullshit scenario in their head that he's just starting drama again, he's clickbaiting, it's just like Knightrider all over again, and then use that scenario which they fabricated in their own head to excuse anything that is ever done to him. You know what little bitches on Twitter always say? Guilty until proven innocent. My narrative is not a lie unless you can prove it with 100% certainty that it did not happen. Not to mention, motherfuckers were seriously out here acting that him shitting on a video game trailer was the tipping point and all this other bullshit, so it's abundantly clear that these people just want to witch hunt for witch hunting's sake. Oh yeah, and you wanna know what is the most commonly mentioned justification for this? That being that Theft King said that Knightrider will burn for eternity. Yeah, if you didn't just burst out laughing upon hearing that statement, I don't know what to tell you. I mean shit, not even Kane himself took that shit seriously, yet now motherfuckers are really getting offended in his stead over a statement that is just downright hilarious, especially considering we're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's here. Like holy fucking shit. And then people say that I go too far in my videos with all the little fucking jabs, and if you're someone who thinks that, then you know this shit is bad when even I am drawing the line and saying that these people are going way too fucking far. Oh yeah, and then there's also the downright hilarious part of these people wishing for Theft King to be deplatformed entirely. Yeah. And here's what is so hypocritical about that statement. They want Theft King to be deplatformed because of a few emotional breakdowns, yet they themselves are having emotional breakdowns and throwing hissy fits on the daily. But of course, this is Twitter we're talking about, so if you don't expect the case of rules for thee but not for me, then that one's on you. Keep in mind, it has been 6 months since Theft King's last drama. 6 fucking months! And 16 months since the Knightrider shit. If this doesn't tell you that these motherfuckers are clutching at absolute straws, I don't know what does. Just think about this. They let Theft King live rent-free in their heads for this long, and they are having complete mental breakdowns over him as much as breathing to this very day. Yet they see nothing wrong with that, but the moment Theft King does it, it's suddenly a different story. Very funny how that works. I am genuinely struggling to find a reason as to why I would even want deranged people like that in my audience. And no, not even money is gonna sway me over. That's how bad this shit is. Oh yeah, and speaking of lying, I wish I still had the comments, but there were legitimately some people who tried to outright lie to my face about Theft King. It was related to the pinned comment where they were trying to convince me that he was using his past with female hero to deflect criticism about his bandit take. And I vividly remember asking at least 2 of them for a source. The first one instantly shut off and never replied, and the other one linked me a completely random video with completely random timestamp, hoping that I would be so fucking stupid to not click it. And not only did I click on the video and watch the timestamp, I also watched it in its entirety. And when I called him out for lying, he tried to say that, oh, I must have misremembered. Yeah, likely fucking story, bro. And if you think that is bad, these retards also wanted me to respond to every single video Theft King ever uploaded past that point. Every single one, I am not fucking joking. Even if the video had absolutely nothing wrong with it whatsoever, these motherfuckers would still spam me with it and still wanted me to be outraged because Theft King is back at it again, when first off, back at what again? It's a completely normal video, and number 2, it is quite literally a normal fucking video. It got so bad that I had to ban people spamming me with Theft King recommendations from my Discord because of how endlessly tiresome it was getting. Not to mention, since I already knew how these people operate, I mean, it is abundantly clear to me what kind of people they are. They don't care for my content. They don't care if I make a fool out of myself. They only care that I blindly agree with them and shit on Theft King because they hate him. And yes, I do say hate instead of dislike. Even though Theft King never interacted with them nor even knew they existed. These people are banking on me being as stupid as them and only want to use me as a tool to get their petty revenge for their imaginary wrong. So yeah, I don't think I need to explain why I don't want these sick fucks in my audience. Now you might say, well, money is money, so why complain? And the thing is, as much as money is my primary motivator on YouTube, I would also like to create videos that I have fun making and still maintain my credibility. If not, I would probably just follow Optimus's example and start grifting every issue we have in the world today, because being tone deaf pays, unfortunately. But yeah, if you have been wondering why there has been a lack of videos on Griffin Gaming and Theft King, you now know why. As much as I don't agree with them on absolutely everything, I am also aware they're not Adolf Hitler incarnate like Twitter would have you believe, and that's why even when they are very clearly in the wrong, I will not make a single video on them unless they do something completely irredeemable, and yeah, fat chance in hell of that ever happening, as much as Twitter would like you to believe otherwise. So yeah, I hope this clears some things up and hopefully it helps shine some light on these Twitter circle jerks and spread some awareness about what they are like. So with that, that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you to these channel members who embrace the chat, Doom Guy, and earned a shoutout. Be sure to like and subscribe to boost me in the algorithm. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.